Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Wynn, and I work in career leadership and transfer pathways at Brookdale Community College. If you're here, there's a great chance that you're an English major here at Brookdale. And I'm here to give you some tips and pointers as to how to find an internship in a certain sector and how to write a resume in order to do so and how to prepare for your interview. So without further ado, welcome, everybody. So if you're majoring in English, there's a chance that you might not be quite too sure what field you're going to wind up in. There are very typical fields that English majors sort of gravitate toward. But there's a whole world out there for English majors, and it's something that, we really need to educate our English majors on so that you know where you can seek positions. So what can you do with an English major? I'm sure your professors and maybe your family friends have given you some feedback about what you can do. Maybe you've done your own research, but here are just a few of those ideas. You can be an author, a copywriter, a business analyst, a technical writer. So combining sort of maybe an interest in STEM along with your passion or your ability to be to write. You could be an editor of many things: a publication, magazine, a website, books. You could be a brand manager. You can veer off into teaching or other professions like law. The list goes on, and I just want to show you a very quick video about what you can do with your major.
Do you find yourself quoting Pride and Prejudice just because there are so many good lines? I mean, honestly, folks, how could you not? If this is you, you may be a future English major. There's just one problem. Some contingent of naysayers, maybe they're your parents or your grandparents or your friends or folks, even your own brain, think that you should choose a more practical discipline. And after all, where can an English degree possibly lead? Where indeed, folks? The short answer is anywhere and everywhere. How do I say this with such confidence? Because I know that it's true. You know who else knows it's true? More than 41,000 people who earned an undergraduate degree in English in 2017 alone. Now, the naysayers have a point. Studying English doesn't prepare you for any singular, well-defined career path the way that a pre-law studies or a pre-med studies or even education studies might. But a major in English does allow you to develop critical skills that will be applicable to many professions. And by the way, those professions include law, medicine, and teaching. What kind of skills exactly? To begin with, you'll really learn how to think critically and analytically. The greatest stories are full of symbols and themes which readers often interpret in their own ways. You'll be asked time and time again to state your case for your opinions and your viewpoints. As you work those muscles, you'll gain an understanding of how to create and frame a strong argument, a talent that's useful no matter the industry in which you eventually land. Additionally, you'll have to meet strict deadlines. English majors are assigned copious amounts of reading. Like you have a professor who might be assigning you hundreds of pages of reading a week. I know. Welcome to college. And be prepared to write long-term papers, which will also have firm due dates. In all of these endeavors, my friend, time management will be key to your survival. By the time you graduate, you'll be fully prepared to deliver projects on time and practice that highly valued skill in the workplace. Another great aspect of being an English major, you'll spend the next 4 years sharpening your writing, communication, and grammar skills. Folks, you will learn to craft papers that are clear and concise. You'll also get to practice playing with language and tone and style. Folks, these are essential in our increasingly virtual workplace. By now, you're probably thinking, yeah, skills, I get them, but where are the actual jobs? Folks, here's a quick rundown of what your English degree and where it can take you. You'll find English majors working as policy fellows, those folks conducting policy research at a think tank, copywriters, crafting headlines and product taglines, commercial scripts, and certainly much more, authors writing books and articles and poems, you name it. teachers and professors passing along their love of the written word to you. Public relations executives helping companies boost their image and marketability. And of course, book, magazine, and newspaper editors homing in on what makes a piece of writing truly captivating. And of course, lawyers putting their rhetorical skills to use. Folks, this is just a very small snippet. Rest assured, there are English majors everywhere from Broadway to Bell Labs, and they tend to be the greatest conversationalists. To the naysayers, you can always quote Austin. There is a stubbornness about me that can never bear to be frightened at the will of others. My courage always rises at every attempt to intimidate me. On that note, folks, thanks so much for watching. Remember, of course, to subscribe to our channel to get the latest and the greatest about careers, colleges, test prep, and a whole lot.
I could not have said it better. Just a fantastic overview about the fact that English majors are in every profession. The hard part, or the more challenging part, is being able to, quote unquote, sell yourself to a company or an organization that you have the right skills to fit these jobs. And we help you do that. And I'm going to help you do that today. So one thing that you can do to sort of secure or to better your chances of landing your dream job is trying to get an internship within your college career. And that could be through Brookdale here, and we hope it is, or it could be at another institution if you're choosing to transfer. So at Brookdale, my office, the Career Leadership and Transfer Pathways office, will help you. So we're working virtually, throughout these past couple of semesters. And when we are back on campus, we are in MAC 105. You can email us, you can call us, you can log on to our website in order to book a virtual appointment with us. We are here to help you, and we are a crucial step to your internship process, and I'll go through that in a minute. So, if you are interested in an internship, and we'll talk about the types of internships that would be available to somebody who is an English major. The first thing that you need to do is understand your course credit requirements for your major. So if you are an English major, there is a certain criteria that you need to accomplish before you are able to do an internship. Once you decide that you're going to do the internship, you can decide, or you need to decide, if that internship will be for credit or non-credit. If it's for credit, if you're planning on doing this so that you will fully get credit for it, you do need to pay for those credit hours, and you will obtain a faculty advisor. And that's something that you will need to do proactively on your own. And that person will be supervising you throughout the semester and throughout your internship experience. If you do it for non-credit, the Career Leadership and Transfer Pathways office acts as your supervisor. So either way, you're going to meet with us. So you will contact our office, make an appointment with us, and we will begin the internship registration process with you. In order to get an internship, the onus is on you to find and research and find an internship site. So that means sort of putting yourself out there, making calls, reaching out, interviewing, and finding a workplace that you can complete your hours. And then you complete the registration process. So once that's all done, you've got your internship. And again, if you're still thinking, where do I do that? Or what type of internship can I do as an English major? That's what we'll talk about. So an example of an internship for an English major is something where you're probably interested in creating content. You probably enjoy writing. So content creation internships are everywhere. They could be anything from grant writing to working for a public relations firm, social media, which every single company out there has an arm of social media now. If you're interested in STEM and you enjoy writing, you can find a company where you can do technical writing. Or if you would like to work for an agency, a publishing company, copywriting, editorial, those positions are out there. Keep in mind, most internships, especially for this sector, will be non-paid. So as you are, trying to map out your course requirements, if you're working part-time, this is definitely something to keep in mind when it comes to this sector. So if you're unsure about the sector that you would like to work in, again, back to the original video, they're everywhere, English majors. So you can really search in any sector to find an internship position or a position once you graduate Brookdale that is looking for English majors. I would keep your search broad and remain open-minded. And I'm going to give you an example as to why, and hopefully this link works. Oh, okay. Hang on one second. So this is an example of an internship. This is a summer 2021 internship that is available, I believe, in Washington, D.C. This is just something that I searched for, open internships, and I specified English, okay, so or English majors. This is possibly in a completely different sector than you ever thought that you would be working. It's not your traditional English internship, but this is a position that is looking for somebody who is able to think critically and write a very strong writer. So this is a position um, in College Park, Maryland, at the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Response to Terrorism. And I wanted to show this to you because this sort of gives what they're looking for. And this is what you have to keep in mind when you start searching for internships. Okay, so if we go down to graduate students or undergraduate seniors and juniors only. So this would be following your course of study here at Brookdale. Strong English language communication, research, and persuasive writing skills. Excellent attention to detail and organizational skills, and strong editing skills. Must be in good academic standing. So those are the criteria for this internship. And that to me says they're looking for an English major. So while you may not have seen yourself working in this type of sector, this is something that's interesting and it might really boost your resume and it might open your eyes and your career path as to something else that's out there. And that's really what an internship is supposed to do. Another thing that I would suggest as you're searching for an internship is to contact either companies or organizations and ask if you can interview them, do an informational interview over the phone about what their typical day is like, or ask if you can job shadow. And here's an example of why that is so important and why it would really set you apart from other students out there who are in the same boat looking for an internship as well. This is about a 5-minute video.
My name's Kaylee Boggin, and I'm an English major. English majors are seen as an idealist, nerdy, bookworms. So when parents hear that their child's going to be an English major, a lot of people assume that there's no money in that. I would love to know more about jobs where I could write and get paid for it. I think that would be the dream.
My name is Erica Lees, and I am a freelance copywriter. A copywriter is someone within advertising and often marketing who creates copy to either sell a product or communicate a message. My first impression of Kaylee was that she's just excited, eager, and open and curious about the world. So we actually have a brief for you today. We are going to be writing a tweet, an email subject line for a company called Smoky Saber Barbecue about the new Chipotle Lemon Barbecue dry rub.
So for the tweet, we had a smaller space and we had to also make sure that we were more conversational. Maybe check this out or, oh, save the flavor.
Okay, great. And this is actually called Smoky Savor Barbecue. So what if we went with savor the flavor?
We used some puns. I enjoyed riffing off of her.
She really impressed me when we were kind of just brainstorming. Now, our next one is just an email subject line that is announcing the launch, except it's an internal company email.
For the internal email, it was much more formal. So I learned that audience is super important no matter what platform you're on.
What I want Kaylee to know is that whether it's copywriting or generating ideas, you can make a living writing words.
Some of my fears as an English major have been if it's worth it. At one point, I was like, should I listen to my parents? Should I become a STEM major just so I can have a guaranteed job?
My name is Mallory Hubline. I'm the brand manager for Helm Boots. So a brand manager is someone who communicates the message of the brand out to the public. So everything from one-on-one customer communications to creating content for emails and connecting with influencers. Hi. Today I hope to give Kaylee some inspiration and just what all the options are out there post-college. There's so many different jobs you can do, and you can really take your passion and your skills and take them in a lot of different directions. Each season we put a different quote on the inside from a different author or poet. Our designer was an English major, and so that's his way to sort of infuse a little bit of writing and inspiration into each piece. That's so cool.
The owner of the company was an English major, and I love that he, even if it wasn't a traditional English major role, he still added that element to his books, to his boots and books.
So I wanted to give you a chance to write something. There's a new boot that we're about to release, and we're looking for different ways to promote it. So one of the ways that we promote new products is we reach out to influencers and see if they might be interested in taking photos of our boots.
In the email I sent to the influencer, I tried to get him to accept the new boots that Helms had called the Holt.
I'm sure lots of influencers get lots of people who reach out, so I always love to comment on something he's done recently or a post I've really connected with.
So, hi Seth, I loved the post this last weekend.
Writing plays a huge role in all of this. We create a product and that's very visual, but beyond that, everything we do involves writing.
Okay, and send.
Awesome. Well, the anticipation.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, it looks like he actually just wrote back now. Wow. See what he said.
I was astounded. I didn't expect him to write back. Hey, Kaylee, thank you so much for the opportunity to collaborate with you. But he did, and he accepted it, so I was really excited. From Mallory, I learned that everyone has a story, and that specifically we can use social media and influencers to tell the story through a brand.
I'm Jessica Choi. I'm a book editor. A book editor helps coach authors and editors to help them put their ideas out there in the world.
I'm a huge fan of true crime.
You might have some aspirations as a writer then?
I do,
Yeah.
yes. I think for me, I've always wanted to be a mystery novelist. More than anything in the world, I just want to write books. Books and books and books.
You know, there are so many books that come out every day in the United States, and it's a really competitive book market. And one of the things that's crucial is for us to really nail a good title and a good cover, because sometimes you only have a few seconds to be able to capture a potential reader's attention.
We began to discuss the different ways she comes across a title and a cover for a book.
You know, it's perfect you're here today because I actually have a book and I'm preparing for a titling meeting. And I thought if you'd like, maybe we could do sort of an initial brainstorm together.
Sure.
Yeah, that's great.
So Jessica and I brainstormed possible titles for a new memoir that was coming out about a woman who has really risen in the video gaming industry.
The title itself can be creative, but usually it needs to contain some kind of keyword, something that is consistent in tone with what's going on in the book.
What about Game Changer?
Game Changer?
Yeah, from garage gaming to Game Changer.
That's perfect.
When you think of books, you're like, oh, I have a book. You don't think about how it gets there. So that was a really cool opportunity.
Every company needs someone like Kaylee who can really write and communicate.
I've learned that you have to be willing to really put yourself out there.
I was impressed with her because I like that she came and she's proactive about trying to figure out what it is she wants to do.
Kaylee definitely seems like someone who's so interested in learning.
She was ready to just like jump in there and kind of attack it.
From today, I've learned that writing is something I will always take with me, no matter what I do, and I will write in every part of my life. It's going to be there no matter what. An idealist, nerdy.
I love that because I think it shows what we continuously tell our students, and especially for somebody who is in a competitive field and might not have a major that is, skill draw down specific, right? So you're not going to be graduating with a teaching degree and going right into the teaching field. You are graduating with an amazing skill set that is very broad and that could potentially be marketable to many, many career sectors. So that job shadow concept is something that I would definitely recommend everybody to do. There are companies, within Monmouth County that would absolutely be willing to host you. They would host you for, an hour for an informational meeting. They might host you for a day, so you could see what a day in the life is like. So I would definitely suggest that you do that. So where do you search for internships? So I just wanted to go through a couple of the different resources that are available to you. And one is our own online job database, and internship database at Brookdale. And I'll walk you through that in a minute. I would definitely also suggest that you create a LinkedIn profile. So a LinkedIn profile is really something where you can highlight your own skill set and it allows you to job search. So most companies and organizations today that have a LinkedIn profile post their open jobs on LinkedIn. So it's a really great job search tool today. LinkedIn is a great networking tool. If you haven't started a LinkedIn profile, I would definitely suggest doing so now here at Brookdale, because your peers that you are taking classes with, your professors, your advisors, your club presidents, everybody who's involved here at Brookdale in your education will be able to link with you, and you will be able to create a professional network. So this is different than your social media accounts. This is where you are going to highlight, the type of skills that you would be able to offer to a company. So job boards like Indeed.com, Glassdoor.com, they are effective in internship searching, and you can centralize your search to focus just on Monmouth County. And I would definitely suggest using those tools as well. You can search for job postings directly through a company website and look at those job sharing websites. So a great example, again, here in Monmouth County is Bellworks, where there are, 50 plus companies working in one location. So you can go onto their website and, search for, there are many companies that would host, excuse me, an English major. There are graphic design companies, there are law firms, there are IT companies. There is something for everybody at Bellworks. So I would definitely suggest utilizing Bellworks as well. Once you've done a search, and it's ready to sort of market yourself, creating that resume is something that we can help you with as well. So, as an English major, this is no big shakes for you. This is something that, you've got, we can figure this out, and you being able to talk about your skill set is going to be a strength. I know it. So in order to create a resume, you kind of have to follow the basic guidelines that, most companies and organizations are hoping that you do follow. So, if you are new to the academia world, if you are new to working or recent in working, your resume should be a one-pager. It starts with a heading, and in that heading, you're going to have your contact information. And again, I would highly suggest that you include a LinkedIn profile, or what your LinkedIn profile is here. When we talk about putting your phone number out there, if you're going to do that, if you're going to put your cell phone on your resume, you need to make sure that your voicemail is set up and your voicemail is a professional one. So instead of, the person you are trying to reach is, not available, which is that automated voicemail message, you need to change that when you're starting to internship search or job search, because when companies call you and they hear that, they may hang up and just call the next person. Again, your professional email address. So, using your Brookdale email address is perfectly acceptable. I wouldn't put anything personal in your email address. If, you want to use your first name, last name, and a number, that's absolutely fine. But I would, not have anything out there like, that maybe gives your hobby, if you love the beach or something like that. It's definitely not appropriate for a job searching email. So on your resume, what not to include, you don't need to include your features, your characteristics, a picture, your marital status. That essentially is not, for any job or company. That's not information that you need to disclose or that you should disclose. So the next section on your resume should be either a summary of qualifications, an objective, or a career profile. And this is what you're really going to tailor for that specific job or internship description that might be out there. So going back to the example that I gave you earlier in this presentation, they are looking for somebody with strong organizational skills. So if you have strong organizational skills, you are going to put that in the top of your resume. If they are looking for somebody who has editing experience, you are going to put that in the top of your resume in this section. It's very, very important to highlight what they're looking for. You want to highlight why you're the best candidate, and you want to do it in a short and concise manner. 1 to 3 bullet points should do the trick. So just a couple of examples. This, again, either an objective, a career profile, or a summary of qualifications. I tend to steer away from the objective statement because, unless you are applying for a specific internship that was mentioned, possibly in, an ad, fashion design student seeking an internship in retail merchandising. Perhaps there's a couple of different internships available, but you are looking for the one that's retail merchandising. That would be good to highlight. If you are a career changer, highlighting in your career profile that, perhaps you did something before and you're going to be transitioning those skills into another profession. This is an absolutely great way to highlight that. So for example, this person was a military professional and developed leadership, training, management experience, and is now looking to take those experiences and those skills into an elementary teaching position. So as long as you're able to communicate, the skill set that you developed and that it's going to be applicable to your next profession, this is the place to do it. Summary of qualifications, again, 1, 2, or 3 of what I had just mentioned, not all 3. This is an example of a summary of qualifications. So in that second one, highlighting if you have software skills, Microsoft Office Suite or Java or CAD or HTML, if there's something that the company is seeking, you want to mention that here. If you are bilingual, that is definitely a strong, skill set, especially if you were working in or for or looking to work for a company that fosters, multilingual speaking. That's fantastic. Organized, dedicated, professional with extensive customer service experience. A lot of times we have students who have done, customer service work and don't know how that can transition into another field, but it absolutely does. And it's definitely something worth highlighting. So as far as your next section, you want to focus on your education. So, education is, imperative today. And every student out there who graduates, needs to highlight, this accomplishments. So for Brookdale Community College, if you're graduating with an associate degree in applied science, in culinary arts, in English, whatever it is, you're going to highlight that, and you're going to put your, the month and the year that you're graduating. If your GPA is anything north of a 3.0, you're going to put that on your resume, as this person did here. If you've done course projects, have been part of clubs, organizations, honor societies, that is going to go in this section as well. And I'm going to show you an example of it all together. Your next section is your experiences. So this is where you're going to highlight your work experience, your volunteer experience. You can highlight it in different ways. And again, I'll show you an example of how to do that. Your experiences can be highlighted by, the type of experience. So leadership experience or customer service experience. Or you could simply categorize your experiences in reverse chronological order, and lump them so that it makes sense to the person who's reading your resume. So this is an example of how an experience is highlighted. So you put the job title. So for this person, as a cashier, the location, the city and state, the amount of time, if it is still something they were presently doing, and then a couple of bullet points describing. So you always want to start each bullet point with an action verb. So provided, utilized, led, trained, provided excellent customer service to over 50 patrons daily. Wherever you can quantify, that is something that will really stand out on your resume. And then these are just a few tips. So no personal pronouns on a resume. You never want to use the word, you never want to say I, you always want to use bullet points. Again, using the action verbs in bullet point format, concise statements, descriptive wording, and again, quantifying. If you are a career changer and have multiple years of experience, you could use 2 pages, but for most students, it should be a 1-pager and a 1-pager only. Margins anywhere between a half an inch to an inch. We always say don't use templates, because once you're locked in, you're locked in. So this is a working document for the rest of your life. So, you want to start with a blank Word document so that you can tailor your resume how you want to over the years. And when you're sending to employers, you always want to send as a PDF so that the integrity of the document is never lost. So this is an example of, those headings and those experiences that I just spoke about. So you've got this person here, you've got their LinkedIn, you have the Brookdale email address, and you have a summary of qualifications. So this person is this is a motivated college student with coursework and experience in addiction studies, looking for an internship in a community agency. So highlighting that right away. And then, she lists the experiences that are applicable. So she has experience supervising and training children, administrative experience, and then office experience. All great things to highlight. And she's bilingual. So her education is next, a course project, and her work and volunteer experiences. Again, a clear and concise 1-pager. And those work experiences, even though it's not in human services or addiction studies, having that experience as a soccer referee, a camp counselor, absolutely should be placed on your resume. So when we talk about interview prep, and I'll do this quickly, the first thing that you want to do once you do send out your resume and land that interview is research the company and agency that you're going to be interviewing with. The website of a company is a great place to start. Knowing the company's mission statement, the clientele and population that they serve is truly important, and those are talking points when you do go on an interview. For an in-person interview, wearing professional clothing, bringing multiple copies of your resume because you could be meeting with multiple people, and doing a drive-by to find out, where you're going and how long it'll take you there. There are always traffic mix-ups, so being prepared and being early is 100% important. Your in-person tips, it's that firm handshake, the eye contact, it exudes confidence. Even if you're feeling very nervous at that very moment, that's something that you should practice. And I'm going to show you how you can actually practice through a tool at Brookdale. Your dress appearance should be professional, not too much perfume or cologne. It sounds trivial, but it's something that can take away from the things that you're saying and the person that you are, and you don't want to do that. Hand talking, these are something, that everybody has to work on. I have to work on. Just be mindful of it. You're not going to be perfect, but it's something that, you could be mindful of. If you're virtually interviewing, which, is the new way, you still want to wear professional clothing, even if you're, wearing yoga pants or sweats, you want to make sure that, you in the camera are professional. Posture and smile and decluttering your background is really, really important. You want to test your lighting and have a backup technology device, just in case the device that you're using, dies or has, a connection issue. And having a pen and notebook to jot down talking points is really important. And you want to make sure that you write down the contact information of the person that you're interviewing with. A way to practice interviewing, if you don't have somebody specific to practice with, you can use a tool called Big Interview. Big Interview is accessible from our Career Leadership and Pathways website, and I'm going to bring that to you right now. Just a second. So this is Big Interview, and this is available to all Brookdale students, and this is a way for you to practice interview questions. So I just want to show you quickly how you can do that. So once you log in using your student ID and password, you can practice specific questions by sector. You can practice specific questions by levels. So for a level 1 question, and I've kind of gone through a couple of these. This is what a practice session would look like.
Tell me about yourself.
So then I can start recording myself. And once you record yourself, you can look at your videos of how you answered specific questions, and you can work on how and improve your skill set on how you're answering those questions. You can send those videos to us at Career Leadership and Transfer Pathways, or you can just delete them, or you can use them for yourself or show them to a friend. And this is your chance to practice on your own. So this is an example of how you can improve. So this was one answer.
I work in career leadership and development, and I am a career counselor, and I help students find their career path.
So that was answer 1 of describe your current and most recent job role. And what I noticed is that I didn't have any eye contact. I didn't have any enthusiasm. I was really flat. So I had to change how I answer that question. So I tried it again.
So I'm currently a career counselor at Brookdale Community College. I work in career leadership and transfer pathways. I help students get on the right track as far as their professional path. I also work with employers to create partnerships for our students, and I look forward to working every day.
So again, just another tool that you can access through our Career Leadership and Pathways website, and I really encourage you to do so. It's a great, great tool. Typical interview questions are also through Big Interview, but these are really those typical interview questions that you'll see in most sectors. Tell me about yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses. Tell me about a time when you resolved a conflict. Tell me about a time when, you were proud of the work that you've done. Those are typical questions that you can prepare to answer. Once you're done with an interview, you want to make sure that you follow up with the interviewer. You want to send a thank you note within 24 to 48 hours, either via email or even better, in my eyes, handwritten. If you don't hear from the person that you were interviewing with, you should follow up with them in 5 to 7 business days. And in the meantime, you want to continue searching. Again, you could use our online database, or you could use those other tools that we recommend. So that is, in a nutshell, how, somebody who is an English major here at Brookdale can begin that internship search process, can begin building the resume, and can begin practicing their interview skills. Please meet with us. At Career Leadership and Transfer Pathways, we're passionate about helping students find that path and find these experiences that will basically, really impact you and help you make clear career choices. So reach out to us. We are always here for you, and we look forward to meeting you.